StarCraft fans, welcome to the newest episode of Blizzplanet.com's StarCraft Summary. Now, as always, I'm your host, the bearded gamer, Chris Arnone. Now, we'll start off, like we like to, with last week's question. So last week we were wondering, now that you've had some time to play around with patch 1.5, what are your thoughts on it? What are you liking about it? What are you not liking about it? Here's your best answers. Well, thanks for those responses, everybody. Great responses. Always love it when you guys throw down in the comments. I read them. Eldorian reads them. It's good times. Let's get into that weekly news roundup.
You want a piece of me, boy?
So first off this week, let's talk balance testing. Okay, now Blizzard has released a custom version of the Antigua shipyard called Antigua Shipyard 1.5.0 Balance V 1.0. Yeah, it's fine when you're reading it. It's when you say it out loud, it sounds stupid. Leave me alone. Anyway, there's some minor balance changes to this map dealing with Zerg versus Terran. Now, they're wanting feedback before they make these changes official and live. Now, the highest level Terran versus Zerg matches have had a real problem because the Terrans have been at a major disadvantage. If you've noticed, there's been a lot of the Zerg were taking a lot of wins by storm, and the Terrans were sort of falling off, particularly on this map. But the problem is the Terran versus Protoss match is just fine. So they're trying to sort of rebalance the Terran versus Zerg part of it without really screwing up the Terran versus Protoss part of it. Now, no word, at least in this, on Zerg versus Protoss. The changes, the specific changes. Now, for the creep tumor radius is decreased from 10 to 8. Now, this is to keep the creep spread from, just get a little slower, keep it from covering the map at quite such a rapid pace. Now, for the Terran, they're dealing with Raven movement. Now, the Raven movement is being accelerated. Acceleration is increased from 2 to 2 1/4, and the speed is increased from 2 1/4 to 2 1/2. Now, the Terran players, even with the best micro, have been struggling to use the Raven due to slow acceleration and the low speed. So they're hoping, these two things, dealing really just with speed, when you deal with the creep spread and the Raven movement and acceleration, should really help with the pace of that game. If you want to test it, it's real easy. You have StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, you hop on, look for the map, and play test it. And of course, don't forget to let Blizzard know what you think about it. They're working real hard to, fix these balance issues, so please let them know how it's turning out. Let's talk Broodwars for just a second. I know there's not much to talk about really, but this is sort of the last hurrah. StarCraft Brood War is now at an end as a competitive esport. Kespa Star League had its last major tournament for the original StarCraft Brood Wars, and now they're going to be switching over to StarCraft 2. Now, unfortunately, Flash, who is, far and away considered to be the best StarCraft Brood War player pretty much of all time at this point, did not make the finals this time. Instead, it was Zhangbi, Jangbi, who went up against Fantasy. Now, they duked it out, and Zhangbi just dominated the matchup and ended StarCraft's competitive series with a DT rush to seal the deal and say goodbye to competitive StarCraft Brood War forever. Now, we're going to see, of course, a lot of these players, these high-level Kespa players, starting to shift over to StarCraft 2 very soon. We got a little taste of it at the Spring Championships for MLG, but now it's really going to get hot and heavy and hardcore. So we're going to see how those Kespa players are going to affect the rest of professional gaming in StarCraft 2. Some results to talk about. In this case, it's the Mexico finals for the World Championship Series. As Blizzard series for StarCraft 2. So this is they're done, and we're going to be seeing these players, the winners, come out of this into the MLG North America Championship in just a couple weeks. Okay, so Major, that's the name of the player who plays Terran, went all the way to the winners bracket to take on Jim Rising, who plays Zerg, which is kind of weird. He's Jim Rising but plays Zerg anyway, and defeated him 2-0. And then Jim Rising fell in the losers bracket to Maker, who played Terran, in a 2-1 match. And in the grand finals ended with Major defeating Maker, yeah, try keeping that all straight, and won Mexico's WCS event. Now, all three of these players will be representing Mexico in the North American finals just a couple weeks at the end of the month, so stay tuned for that. Now, the Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition has been data mined in Mists of Pandaria. MMOchampion.com data mined some files from Mists of Pandaria and found, obviously, they're going to have a Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. Duh, it's Blizzard. They have Collector's Editions for every game they put out. But in this one, just one little detail, you will be able to unlock a Baneling pet in World of Warcraft for your World of Warcraft account, with that Heart of the Swarm beta. Now, we don't know any other details at this point, but because that information is in there, that does tell us that, Heart of the Swarm should be on its way soon. Now, I know we've been saying that it's probably not going to come out this year, but hey, maybe Blizzard will prove us wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. So we'll end, as we always do, with a question. So, the WCS North American Finals are coming up, and we want to know, who are you rooting for? You sticking with players from your own country? Do you have a favorite player you're rooting for, regardless of what country they're from? Let us know in the comments. And of course, we're going to highlight the best comments in next week's episode. So make your comments just epic. And then you'll be sure to get in that opening video. You want to be there. Everybody loves that kind of recognition. And while you're on YouTube, why don't you check out Bearded Gamer Show? That's my show. All things video games, beards, a lot of Dota 2, some Persona 4 arena action going on right now. And of course, go to Blizzplanet.com. All the news, reviews, a fantastic community, everything you need to know about Blizzard Entertainment games. See you guys next time.